depends on where are you located. For example, living here in the little town that we are called La Carpio, it's completely different than in other different towns. For example, being a youth right here is completely difficult.
Because this is what, like slum?
This is kind of a ghetto. This is kind of well, it is considered for most people here in Costa Rica one of the most dangerous places.
Oh.
So because of drugs, because of gangs, and because of a lot of stuff,
So,
being a youth here is complicated, really
so
complicated.
a youth grows up amongst all those things that you called out.
Yeah. For example, I'm gonna take me as an example because I was born here in La Carpio, and my parents are Christian. When I grew up, I was a Christian and everything, but it doesn't matter if you're a Christian or not. You're always in risk because your friends, because of people from your street or something. You were always close to being involved in a gang or in drugs or shootings or something like that. It's really complicated.
See, so how can you as a youth stay on the right path?
This is really, really, really complicated because, most of the people here at La Carpio, they're not Christian. Or if they are, most of them are like adult people that came from, for example, Nicaragua, that came here to Costa Rica.
For a better life.
Yeah, for a better life, and they built up churches and all that stuff, and they go to there. But most of the youth, they don't, and it is really complicated. And I think to keep on the good line, you gotta be strong. You gotta have powerful decision making because you never know when your close friends come to you with, hey, do you want to try this drug or something?
Yeah.
So you gotta be strong. You gotta be focused.
How is the education system here?
The education system here, here in Costa Rica or La Carpio? La Carpio, okay, the town.
Yeah.
Okay, right here we only have one school. It's called La Carpio School. We have no high school. We have no college.
No hospital.
No high school here at La Carpio.
Yeah.
If you want to go to high school, it's outside of La Carpio, and you gotta go on by bus or even walk, which is really complicated. Right here, we only have one school, and that school is not enough because right here in a 1 kilometer square of terrain, there's something like more than 40,000 people. So there is really a lot of children here. So that school is not enough, and that school was back in the days considered the biggest school here in Costa Rica.
So
even though it's not enough for La Carpio, so kids go to other schools outside of La Carpio,
like in San Jose or
in San Jose or in La Uruca, it's also another place, or even to San Jose, Uruca, and right here near to La Carpio, but it's not in La Carpio. It's pretty long. You gotta take a bus in order to go there, and children here in La Carpio, they take up to 4 different schools apart from La Carpio school. So there's really a lot of people here.
Well, I recognize how people live around here on top of each other.
On top of each other, yes.
There's no land space.
No. No, there is no land space here.
Nowhere to play.
Yeah, if you want, if you become an adult,
Yeah.
and if you want to have a house here at La Carpio, you gotta build your home on top of your parents' home. And then if you have any brothers, then your siblings are gonna build their home on top of your
On top
home.
of your
And then on top, yeah, there is no land space here. It's really complicated in that,
yeah.
that way.
Definitely. I have gotten the privilege to interact with some of the young people, especially in the center down the road. And they are passionate of their skill, like, for example, football, or they are passionate of, some of them are passionate of the Bible, learning more of the Bible as well. You know, where is that passion comes from? Is it a natural thing of Costa Rican youth, or?
Well, I grew up here at La Carpio in Costa Rica, and when I was growing, right now I'm 20 years old and not really adult or something that like too old or something. No, I'm still young, or that's what I think. But when I was growing, I remember going through really hard situations. My parents almost got divorced, and I got a lot of troubles in my house with my family. My parents were just arguing all the day long, and one of the things that kept me distracted from my house was music.
Oh,
And no, not only music, but doing a lot of things. Keep my mind, busy in
yeah.
other things, so I do not have to think about the reality in my home. I think that is the situation with most of the young
Youth,
people
yeah,
here. They go through different hard situations. As I told you already, gangs, alcohol, drugs, and also not functioning families or something like that. So one of the ways they can get distracted from that is Bible studies, is football, is other things. I have this young kid called Rafa. He's a pretty cool kid, and he is involved in a lot of things. Sports. He runs. He's an athlete, and he plays football really, really
Yeah.
good. And he's actually he wants to learn how to play drums, and he is really interested about the Bible, about learning more.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to help him. And I think that's the main reason, because they want to get out of the reality of La Carpio. So as I grew up here, that's the only point of view that I have.
Yeah.
That in my case, this passion came from
Wanting to get out.
wanted to get out of this reality, and think about other things that are good to you, that are or that you like, that you love, and so that's the main.
Understood. Seeing that there's passion to get out, why do some of the young people don't have that type of passion? They accept what their lifestyle is today.
Sometimes the reality is so hard that you cannot get out of it. For example, back in the days, I had this kid in my discipleship called Emerson, and this guy grew up on gangs. He actually used to sell drugs. He was involved in alcohol, and he used even to wear a weapon on him. And right now he is no longer here. He's no longer at La Carpio because of his previous life. Once he wanted to change his life and become a Christian.
He had to move out.
he had to move out. Why? Because some people were trying to look for him to, not for good things. They were looking for him just to kill him
Wow.
because he wanted to go out.
Yeah.
Of that, and if you want to go out, if you want to get in, that's really easy. But if you want to get out, that's the hard thing, right?
Through that, or you run away.
Yeah.
You talk about music. I saw you in the past playing drums, guitar, keyboard. You sing.
Trying to.
Trying to sing.
I gotta make a correction that right there.
And the fact is, that passion, because of your struggle birthed gifts. And now you're using your gifts to help others in their struggle. How is that? How does that feel? How playing music feel for you?
Okay, music is, is the second most important thing in my life, because the first one is God.
Right.
But in second field, I have music. Why? Because through music, I was able to get out of my reality. And actually, through music, I was able to find God and to serve God. And when I knew God, I started loving God so much that I want to get other people to know God, to know about Him. So music, when I'm playing music, man, it feels really good.
Yeah,
That's the thing I really love the most. I started playing music. I started as a drummer when I only had, where I only was like 4 or 5 years old. I started learning because of my brother. He wanted to learn. He didn't learn, but I got interested just by looking at him and looking at the movements and the rhythm. And so, man, I want to do this when I get older. I want to do this. And then I grew up, and when I was like 5 years old, I played my first full song in drums.
Wow.
There was a lot of talent. I don't want to use that word, but some people call it like that.
Yeah.
And I actually tried to start playing drums at the church, in a different church, really young, but nobody wanted to give me the opportunity to. Yeah, because
I know that feeling.
I was. You got to tell me that story later on. Yeah. But when I was like, 8, 9 years old, I really wanted somebody to teach me so I can, improve my skills in drums. Nobody wanted to because I was too young, even though I could play basic things and all that slow music. Nobody wanted to teach me. And that was the situation until I was like, until today, because nobody wanted to teach me until today. But in another church, I moved when I was like 11 or 12 years old, and they gave me the opportunity of playing drums, to start serving God. I got baptized and everything, and I started serving God when I was like 11 or 12 years old. Through the drums, but they gave me the opportunity. They told me, hey, we know you can do it, and we're confident. And just go ahead and express yourself with the drums.
Yeah.
So when I see those guys, trying to escape from reality, I just want to be the person that I didn't have when I was younger.
Yeah.
I just want to be this, kind of encourage for them. The person who didn't teach me, I want to be that to them. So right now, you already saw on Sunday this guy playing the drums.
Yes.
I started teaching him 1 year ago. I gave him like the first steps and continued to teach him, and he just played for the first time here at the church, in January of this year.
Okay.
It has been improving a lot and a lot and a lot. But I wanted to be that person to him because his family is, he lives with a single mother, and his mom and his sister are the ones that are, taking the the load of, the family, the whole family. So when he grew up, he didn't have like a dad figure beside him telling him what to do and everything. So that's what actually encouraged me to start a discipleship with him. To try to, advise him, and try to make sure, or try to be this person to them, or one of these other kids that I have in my discipleship group. His father is an alcoholic,
Okay.
and his mom is the one that actually works for the family and brings the food to his home. And he is the oldest brother. They're four brothers. Yeah.
Wow.
He is the oldest one, and his mom is making him, and he is only 15 years old. She is making him to work to be that male
Yeah.
in the family that provides for the
Yeah.
family. So the reality is really hard. So for me, that reality has not been nothing else more than motivation, like encouraging for me.
And I had the privilege to meet him. I had the privilege to meet him, and we spoke little, and I tried to give him a tip or two on the drums as well. He's a really good kid, really good person, and it's unfortunate that he have to grow up in this struggle.
And that's the situation, not only for him, but for most of the kids.
Most of the kids.
For most of the youth here in La Carpio, right here, we really struggle a lot with alcoholism, with drugs, and unfortunately, most of the mothers here at La Carpio, they are the ones that have to work to bring the food to home.
So most of the fathers don't really.
They're absent fathers,
Wow.
most of them.
Wow. You said something that you started serving Christ at 11 to 12 years old, somewhere around there.
Really young.
Yeah. It actually shows that it's not too young to be of service to Christ.
It is actually never too young, as long as you're capable of making decisions, as long as you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and you know what you are doing.
Yeah.
The decision you made of following Jesus at a really young age, you can have the opportunity to serve. And actually, I have some people of 16, 17 years old that in some churches they tell them, no, you're too young to serve here. You're too young for doing this. You're too young for doing the other. That is another trouble that we struggle with. Not giving the opportunity. Because sometimes you might be too young to be serving in music, but most of the times we only want to serve. And I didn't care about just starting cleaning chairs and cleaning the church. I remember when I was a child, when my mom and I used to clean the church. I used to play. And while I was playing, I was cleaning the church because I didn't think about just cleaning the church because I have to. No,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. That's the same with music. As long as you enjoy it, as long as you're, conscious of what you are doing, you are more than capable of doing it.
So lastly, what would you tell if you have an opportunity to speak to the audience of young people, both in Costa Rica and the wider world? What would you tell young people who are going through similar struggles, who are thinking that there is no way out, who are thinking I'm not gifted or talented, who are thinking to give up on life? What would you tell those young people?
I really feel them because I've been through a lot of struggles in my life, you know. As I already told you, right here, the life is really hard. The situation is really hard. And reality is sometimes awful. You just want to, you know, get rid of your own life sometimes. And I've been through it. And if there is something I can tell you, even though you might think that you are alone, you're never alone. There is always a way of, overcome the situation. There is always a way. I remembered when I was 13 or 14 years old, I was going through a depression and I was going through really hard times. And nobody helped me but this Spanish teacher in high school. He saw me. Hey, you're not okay. Are you going through something, or do you need my help? Do you need something? And I realized that all I needed to do is to talk.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you do not talk to nobody about what you are going through, the situation is gonna overcome to you. You're not gonna overcome the situation. But look for help. I know sometimes it's difficult because of your friends circle or something like that. The people you used to talk to are not the correct people. But most of the times there's somebody. Look for somebody and talk about your situation, and you will be able to overcome the situation. Try to find things to distract yourself, to get out of the reality. One of the things I really love about the situations I have gone through is that I learned a lot. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
And when I was going through a depression, I was in at the hospital because of feeding disorders and everything. And I found God, in that situation. So I found Him, and I didn't need in that moment somebody to come and talk to me about God.
Yeah.
I just remember, isn't there a God that should help me overcome this situation? And that was the moment I realized that all I needed was God. All I needed in that situation was God. Why? Because if you have God in your heart, if you have Jesus in your heart, if you have the Holy Spirit in your heart, then you're not gonna feel alone. You're always gonna feel better, even though the situation is not the best. Because a couple of months ago, I got through some really hard situations again in my life. But I just realized I have a purpose in life. All these things I'm going through are for a purpose in life.
That's right.
And I do not know what God has prepared for me, but I have a purpose in life.
Yeah.
And that's main thinking that made me not to give up. You have a purpose in life. Different people told me, hey, You have a purpose in life. You have a big purpose. God gave you a big purpose. Because even when I wasn't born,
Yeah.
I wasn't even born, I went through, I almost died without even being born, my mom was in labor for 3 days.
Wow.
And I shouldn't be alive right now because some different issues and different illnesses that I have had along my life. And if I can tell you something, you young people that might be watching this, is do not give up. You have a purpose in life. You have things to do with your life, even though I know you might feel like there is no other way than, getting rid of your own life. There is always a way. And I can tell you, just by accepting Jesus Christ in your heart as your Lord and Savior, truly accepting Him, man, I can tell you, everything is gonna change. Your mind is gonna change. Your thoughts are gonna change. You might think that you do not have a purpose in life, but in Jesus you do have a purpose. I did think that a couple of years ago, but right now I know that I have a purpose in life. And even though the situation has been really tough for me and for all the youth here at La Carpio, we know in Jesus Christ we have a purpose, and everything that happens in your life has a purpose.
Well, mucho gusto, Jeremy.
Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you, man.
Really nice. Really nice talking.
Thank you for listening to On The Beat Podcast. Feel free to share, follow, and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, and Instagram. Stay blessed, everyone.